giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by the Cock Confirming Boston Scientific. I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! Happy Friday, people. Happy Friday. Some of y'all just got paid. Some of y'all have to work this weekend. Everybody's different, but we got football. We had football last night. Great game. Great quarterbacks. Had a good time watching that. And we got some football this weekend, Cowboys Nation. Cowboys versus Bengals. We'll get to the keys of the game. Got 3 of them, but per usual, like I try to do with these, we'll talk about what you believe are some of the keys of the game. Then in the roundup, just more good news from Michael Gallup, right? And then another player that we hope to be a starter on this offensive line is looking like he's close to returning. Plus, we'll talk about why said rookie is not getting a shot. Your coach pretty much explained that. So we'll get into that in the first word. We don't normally do a first word on Friday, but I thought it was worthy of discussion here this morning. Shout out to the Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad!
And it's so funny. I saw somebody in the chat. They mentioned the Road Warriors. And, of course, you got Cooper Rush as the quarterback. So it's only fitting.
What a rush!
Man, my favorite tag team of all time. And one of them, you know, I have many, but it's one of them. And y'all know my other microphone that I have over there. It is about the Road Warriors. So, yeah, man. I love the Road Warriors. Love them to death. All right, y'all. What's up with y'all, man? We got Wink in the building, Swain, Toxic Tom, Lamitra, Russell, Mike Harris, Oscar Sullivan, Roadhouse or No House, Primetime Phil, Stephen White, Iceberg Q, Trey Manning, Professor O was goody. My boy Lee in the building, Dallas Cowboys hard hit. I thought that was going to be hard hitters. Tom Knudsen. PZ, you're not that guy, pal. Never get tired of saying that. Jack the Cactus Bynum, Iceberg Q, Toxic Tom in the building, and many more coming through. Trey Manning, I see ya. Appreciate y'all for being here. Got a donation early. And somebody's on the horn, so just hold tight.
Super chat.
Jay Versick, appreciate you. He says, good morning, keep your head to the sky. Shout out to my guy, Jay Will. All right, let's get into this roundup and talk about these keys. Should be a very easy, simple show today. Y'all can make it longer if you want. We'll see how we'll do these lines today. 351-999-3787. Let's get into it.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time!
It's time.
It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Oh, they do it. Hey, oh, they do it.
Hey, yo. Jason Peters practiced yesterday in full pads for the first time since joining the Cowboys. So sounds like we are getting close for him. When Mike McCarthy was asked about Jason Peters potentially playing left or right tackle, Mike McCarthy said, hey, no, I can't tell you that. Not yet. Not yet. Well, you might be saying, well, Scott, why are you bringing that up? Well, because Jerry Jones earlier in the week went on the radio and he said, yeah, without being prompted, yeah, we're looking at Jason Peters at left and right tackle. And that just kind of goes to the whole thing of Mike McCarthy wants to try to play every card he can from a competitive advantage standpoint, even if it may seem silly to Cowboys Nation. But he's in an organization where it just doesn't operate that way. When he came out this offseason and said, yeah, man, you know, things different around here. These are part of the things that he means in regards to how day-to-day operations work with this front office, with this ownership. And you would say he's used to it, but he's not. He's annoyed. It is what it is. He's got to figure out how to work around that. But Jason Peters, honestly, don't know now. You know, Jerry said one thing, McCarthy said another. I don't know. I don't think he should be looked at over there at right tackle. I think he should be left tackle. I think you should move in Tyler Smith to left guard because you're going to need that spot to be shored up. And that's how you should rock moving forward, in my opinion. But we'll see. Also, Michael Gallup practiced for the first time in full pads. So both of these guys are out there with their respective team, right? For the first time in full pads. But McCarthy did say neither are expected to play this week. So will it be week 3 for Peters and week 3 or week 4 for Gallup? I'm looking at it this way. If Gallup has pads on, he did individuals last week. He did team this week. Starting to lean a little bit towards that week 3. Week 4 was always my date when I found out that he wasn't going to be on IR. But might be week 3, man. So maybe we'll see Michael Gallup next week. Unfortunately, you're really going to need him this week, but that ain't happening. Speaking of receivers, we're going to finish this thing out with receivers. One of the main receivers for the Cincinnati Bengals, T. Higgins, had a concussion on Sunday, but he practiced on Wednesday in a limited fashion. Interesting. I don't know how deep he is in the protocol. But then yesterday he did not practice due to a non-injury related situation, a personal thing. So today is going to be a big important day for T. Higgins to see if he's out there. If he's not out there, which y'all know me, people are like, hey, you know, I want to see players I want to see teams at full strength. I don't want no excuses. You know, me personally with the injuries,
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
I don't care. I do not care if all their best players are out and you get the dub. You got the dub. That's just how I feel about it. Because no one's going to care about you having guys hurt. So why should I care? So, yeah, I hope T. Higgins takes an extra week to recover. I hope he's healthy and he's fine. I just hope, they say, you know what, we need to rest you. Because T. Higgins is a problem. He's a good receiver. 6'4". He's quick. He's big. He's strong. He's a matchup issue. It is what it is. So take your time, T. Take your time. That quick injury report is brought to you by OSMI, the Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute. Their team of orthopedic specialists has offices in Fort Worth, Decatur, Mansfield to provide state-of-the-art orthopedic care to the North Texas area. So when it comes to this medical care, you and your loved ones deserve the best possible experience. So schedule your hassle-free appointment today at osmifw.com. And finally, we get an explanation about why Jalen Tolbert did not play. Not even just play, right? He didn't suit up. Jalen Tolbert didn't suit up on Sunday with a team that has questions at wide receiver. And Mike McCarthy was asked about all that. And I'm going to go ahead and let Mike McCarthy explain it. And we'll talk about it here in a quick second before we get into the keys. But this is Mike McCarthy on Jalen Tolbert's absence in week 1. Not even just absence, right? But dressing in week 1. Take a listen in the first word.
We never really got into why Jalen Tolbert was inactive. What does he have to do to be active on Sunday?
I mean, he's a young player that, frankly, a lot has been asked of him. So, and that's, we were all so impressed, when he arrived. And so, in the hamstring injury really played a factor in this because, having him play all the positions, treating him, frankly, how we treated CeeDee when CeeDee arrived. and not really having the opportunities early on special teams, he's a step behind the other guys. But no, I just think it's it's just kind of where Jalen is, and I think you have to recognize Dennis and Simi for what they've done. So, but yeah, he's full go. Just really the last 2 weeks he's been crushing it in practice, and so I look for him to push for future opportunities.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy, I don't know how I feel about that one. For a number of different things. Nothing about this Jalen Tolbert situation is encouraging. Period. Even if this is the truth, which it may be, I don't know. But you're telling me, make sure I wrote that down right, a hamstring injury from the spring is why he's behind? Or did a hamstring injury pop up? He's not on any injury report. Little weird to me. And then I think you really got the truth of the matter later in the second part of his answer where, hey, man, you just got to give Dennis Houston and Simi Fehoko credit is basically what he was saying. Well, I fully expected Simi to kind of be a part of something given the state of your wide receiver position. That doesn't shock me. This fly is going to annoy me all morning. But Dennis Houston, again, I'm not coming at the young man. Hell, for that matter, why is Turpin out there if you're not going to use him? So I'm just really curious on the specifics of why they're not going to tell us this. They're not going to tell us these things. Why is he not out there? Does he not know the playbook? Because he said he's behind the other receivers. In what manner? Special teams? Come on, coach. Jalen Tolbert should be at least in your top 3. We were hoping he'd be your number 2. And if my number 2 and number 3 receiver isn't playing special teams, quite frankly, I don't care. I do not care. 4, 5, and 6, yes. But in a passing league, your top 3 guys are starters. How many snaps is Tyler Boyd playing on special teams? Maybe he plays some. Maybe I don't know. I'm just taking a guess here. How many snaps does Tyler Boyd play on special teams? Anybody got that answer? I don't know. But and I don't want to overreact to this because again, it's only week 1. Probably, I mean, it sounds like he's not going to be available week 2. We will see. Let me ask y'all this as I go through the rest of my concerns about how things have been operating here. Do you think, given what you heard from Coach McCarthy, do you think that Jalen Tolbert should be a part of the game this weekend? Yes or no? Should Jalen Tolbert be called up to play this weekend? I have no idea if he will be. I think he should. In what manner is he behind to the point where what you rolled out on Sunday is going to be worse, right? I think we can all agree that Jalen Tolbert's supposed to be more talented or as talented as a Dennis Houston or a Simi Fehoko or whoever's up there. So what is it? Because I don't have that answer, I have to say yes. Now, if it's, hey, man, he don't know the playbook, then all right, if that's the reason, cool, coach. He don't know the playbook. He can't pick up his keys. He doesn't know how to read the defense. All right, I got you. But if it's special teams, boy, get your ass out there and learn on the fly or get your feet put to this fire. Point blank, period. And that brings me to my next and final point before I get in here and start talking to y'all. Again, don't take this as, well, Sky, you're panicking or anything like that. I'm not. I'm just looking how we do things. I said this yesterday. Kelvin Joseph, Nashawn Wright, Sam Williams, and Sam Williams and Jalen Tolbert are your top 2nd round and 3rd round picks of the last 2 seasons. We know the story around Kelvin Joseph. He can't even get on the field and he has other issues. We'll see what happens there. Nashawn Wright, unfortunately, just looks like a career special teams guy. Hey, it happens. You're not going to hit on them all. Jalen looks like he's not even dressing early on. Third round pick, I guess we got to give him some slack. Things will happen. And then Sam Williams, 6 snaps. So he's not really part of the rotation as of yet. The only problem I have with the early results from your second and third round pick is that because you're such a draft and develop team, keyword is develop, don't get me wrong. But when you're drafting and developing and you don't rely on anything else, unfortunately, it has to be draft. We need you right now while you develop. It has to be. If it's not, Dennis Houston, right? Simi Fehoko, bargain bin guys that you hope play above the bargain bin price you got. Usually, and at least for me, if I'm going to take a guy in the second and third round and bring him along slowly, cool. I'm going to get me a guy that's either better or an upgrade or a free agent in the meantime, in between time, that can kind of put me over that hump, et cetera, et cetera. You didn't even have to go get a free agent. You had a guy in-house. You got rid of him for whatever damn reason, but that's neither here nor there. So my point being is, yeah, we draft well. I said this in the offseason. But if this is what's going to be the outcome in the first 2 seasons of second round picks and third round picks, you cannot just rely on this alone. Can't do it. Won't do it. I need winners. And I say that I'm not panicking. I promise y'all I'm not panicking, Cowboys Nation. It's just that I need these dudes now. I can't wait 2-3 years down the line. And I'll leave it at that. I don't know why we didn't keep William Burney. I don't know, man. You know? I mean, it cost a little bit of money, but if you would have told me you were going to get rid of XYZ and Cooper and Said and Turner and all those players, and you were going to bring in Washington, I would have just brought back Said. But we're not going to go too far back. I just wanted to bring that up because it was on my mind. It was on my mind. All right, the number is at the top of the screen. It's also at the bottom of the screen on the DFW Turf Ticker, your number one artificial turf company in the DFW area. We got a couple callers on the line. Let me go ahead and get to a few of them. I think I saw 407 on the horn, so we'll get to you first. 407. He will be the first caller on the Pulse of the Nation hotline presented by the Cochran Firm. Since 2005, that's 2005. Larry and Brian have been headlining the Cochran Firm over there in Dallas, Fort Worth. They are the last one that Johnny Cochran blessed before he left this earth here. And they take that mantle and they hold it with pride and they fight for you. If you need lawyers, if you need advice, if you need any legal action, holla at the Cochran Firm. Call Larry, call Brian at 1-800-THE-FIRM or schedule your free consultation today at CochranTexas.com. 407. What's good with you?
Sky.
What's up?
Hey, man. I saw this all 22 of that Law Nation did on the game, and CeeDee Lamb, man, he's running his routes like he's driving a damn car. I don't know what his problem is out there, but the way he couldn't get no separation because he don't have no cut in the game. I don't know what his problem is. But if he would get some cut in his game, I mean, like that edge you got, that edge, hey, I pay $1,000 for that edge you got right there, baby. I don't know who your barber is, but they put you in the game. You understand? Hey, look here. Hey, and Tolbert, I don't know what they're doing with Tolbert, man. Put him out there. I'd have sent Turbin out and then let him hit it. Wow, let him hit it wide open out there. And then hit him. You know what I'm saying? They didn't do any of that, man. I don't know. The Cowboys are taking years off of my life. And you're not panicking. Look, sir, let me panic enough for the both of us. I'm done.
My brother, I appreciate that call. You good? You out?
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you for that call. That was great, man. That was a great first one.
All right.
So yeah, Lamb. I'm trying to write what he said. See this damn. Ooh, this fly gonna get on my nerves all morning. I thought I had it too. He's funny about the barber thing. I told you already. Shout out to my barber Adrian, but I also learned how to cut and line up myself as well. When you're coming on here every day, you can't be coming on here looking crazy, so you gotta make sure you say it right. But CeeDee Lamb, I'm trying to find it in my notes here because we're going to talk about it in the keys. But I'll cheat and I'll go to the bottom of this note here. It says you got to get Lamb in a rhythm. People scoffed at Cooper's mental on the field, but you never saw him flail around. People say he mentally checked. I don't agree with him mentally checking out. I don't agree with that because when you go watch the play, he's running to be open, and sometimes he's open. The ball just doesn't go there, or he's taking attention away purposefully, and now somebody else is open. Well, CeeDee Lamb, I felt like got into his own head far too often in that game. Far too often and early. It's one thing to be frustrated, but you can't allow that to take yourself out the game and trust and believe that's what it did. CeeDee Lamb would run a route, and like he said, instead of having a sharp or a strong, explosive, push off or what have you at the top of his route, he's literally pushing off. I mean, he shiver forearmed, I don't know who it was, Winfield. That's a safety, dog. Route him up and get open. The space was there for you to be open. And he got you the ball, but you shivered him. You didn't have to do that. There were other routes where he did it again. Shout out to Baldy. Baldy did the same thing. Showed the same thing. He pushed off my man. This was the play where they dropped back 7. Dallas ran out 2 wide receivers into the route, and there was that small window, and Dak didn't hit the window. He hit it as it was closing as opposed to coming out. But even if he throws it as he's coming out, see, he's pushing at that point. That's wasted motion. That's wasted motion. Instead of pushing and using that split second to push, and boom, I'm here. I'm ready for it. But you saw the frustration. You saw it on a play with Cooper Rush too at the end of the game. 2 plays actually at the end of the game. One where it was a tough throw on the out, and we'll show some film. It was a tough throw on the out, CD. And another one where it was a big play. It was open, deep too. Not too many shots we had deep, and he just flailed it out of bounds. And you saw CD's frustrated, and that's fine. It's going to be, you're going to be frustrated, but you as the man, right, as the leader in that wide receiver room, you have to be under control. And that is one thing that I gave credit to Coop for. No matter what, whether he was up or down, Coop kept he was like this. Coop will be out there with 10 catches for $150 and a tutty, and he on the sideline. All right, I'm ready. Coop can go out there, 1 catch, 19 yards, he's on the sideline. All right, I'm ready. Like, he was steady in who he was. And I think after week 1, I think you guys who are off of the Amari Cooper are seeing why he's missed in this particular offense. Man, he's funny though. All right, let me get to one more caller. Oscar, man, what's good, Oscar? I don't really hear from you too much, dog. What's up with you?
Hey, man, good Friday morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Man, I had to just come on to just kind of vent about the Tolbert situation. When I heard the response from McCarthy, it's kind of to me it didn't kind of pass the smell test for me because of the simple fact that you don't pick 3rd round wide receivers to play special teams. You didn't do it, and I know that he wasn't part of the coaching in Dallas when they had Gallup, or he wasn't a coach when we picked Terrence Williams. But neither of those guys played special teams at all as a 3rd round pick. You go out and this is going from organization, top of the organization, all the way down to Dak, in my opinion. You go out and you say, Dak, we're going to have you look at wide receivers. We're going to have you throw the wide receivers before the draft starts and just say, hey, which receiver you actually like coming into the draft? and you handpick, say, hey, I like Jalen Tolbert. So you say, okay, we're going to pick him in the 3rd round. Now it's up to you to get this guy up to speed, up to snuff, just like what Aaron Rodgers is doing with Christian Watson and with Romeo Dobbs right now. Dak needed to be doing the same thing with Jalen Tolbert. And I heard Isaiah Stanback say, and it was so very true a couple of weeks ago. First of all, let me go ahead and just say
you got to get to your point here because this is interesting here. You're laying blame on the quarterback for the wide receiver not being ready. I need you to land this so I can rebuttal.
Okay, I'm not taking all the blame off of Jalen Tolbert. Let me just say that.
Not even just Jalen. I mean, there's stuff called coaching, but go ahead.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's from organization all the way down to the coaching, all the way down to Dak, to be honest with you, because of the simple fact that you got to get this guy ready because of what you lost in the offseason, what you gave up in the offseason. You traded Amari Cooper. You let Cedric Wilson go. And then I'm sorry.
Yeah,
and then
I need you to land it, brother.
And then I know. Okay, I'm sorry. But what Isaiah Stanback said was very true. He needed to play in preseason games with Jalen Tolbert in order for them to get chemistry. Sure. They didn't get chemistry at all. So he's out there playing with Cooper Rush.
Right.
So I mean, it was a detriment to him basically, and don't get me wrong. He played to me. I think he played better in the preseason than Dennis Houston did. The only thing that Dennis Houston did in the preseason was catch a Hail Mary in a scrimmage game against the Chargers.
All right, my turn. So
go ahead.
I'm a bit flabbergasted here. To me, it sounds like you're laying a lot of blame at the feet of the quarterback for the 3rd round pick not being ready to play in week 1, right? Where they actually did practice in the Dak yard. They actually did practice in training camp. He was out there, but for whatever reason, he just wasn't good enough or ready, according to your coaching staff. Dak didn't make him inactive. That wasn't a Dak decision. Number one. Number two, he didn't handpick Jalen Tolbert. Go back and listen to what Mike or Will McClay said. He said, hey, Jalen Tolbert wasn't the only one that Dak Prescott called. Jalen Tolbert wasn't the only one of the receivers we talked about. But when we got to the 3rd round, Jalen Tolbert was one of the ones that he talked to. So they picked him. He said, yeah, cool, we could pick him. And just because of that, it's his fault that Jalen Tolbert's not ready. And by the way, you said that just like Aaron Rodgers is doing. Oh, guess what Aaron Rodgers was doing in the offseason? Complaining and whining about his wide receivers for dropping balls and not being ready. Guess what happened in week 1? Aaron Rodgers, same Aaron Rodgers, all-time great. Wide receivers were dropping and not ready out there, and they scored 7 points. Are we blaming Aaron Rodgers?
But guess what he's doing, though?
What is he doing? What is he doing? What is he doing?
They're being active. So
how is that the quarterback's fault?
No. They're okay. It's more so of the offensive coordinator not getting these guys, as far as the play calling and everything is concerned. But if I'm vouching for a guy to get picked in the 3rd round, and I mean that's what he did, Scott. He vouched
one
for
of the
Jalen
5 or
Tolbert
6 guys he vouched for. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, one, but he vouched for him.
Okay.
Right, Scott. He vouched for him.
Okay.
So I mean, you know that you're going into the season with one guy that you really know, and that's CeeDee Lamb.
Yes.
This guy has to be up to snuff. You got to get this guy up to snuff.
Who has to? Let me ask you that question. Who? Because it sounds like it's a singular person. You didn't say they. You said who. Who has to get him up to snuff?
Okay. as an organization,
Okay.
everybody has to get this guy up.
All right.
No, I'm
All
sorry.
right.
It's not just Dak's
But
fault.
that's how it came out, you know?
And
That's literally what you
I
said.
apologize for that. It's not just Dak's fault. It's more so of the whole organization. Like I said, from top all the way down. It is, to me, in my eyes, because
I don't disagree with that. Land it.
Because what did Chauncey Golston do last year in preseason? Absolutely nothing. But guess what? Dan Quinn had a plan for him to come into the regular season and do something.
Bro, man.
Offensive side
Hold
is
up.
not that.
Slow
It's
down.
not that thing.
Slow down. Chauncey Golston was hurt. He didn't even play in the preseason last year.
Yes, exactly. And how much did Jalen Tolbert do in the preseason? Because he did have a hamstring problem in the in training camp.
Okay.
But
He had
no. He had
a hamstring problem in the spring. Jalen Tolbert was available all camp.
Yeah, I just think both. I just think that with Kellen Moore, with
Gotcha,
Mike
bro.
McCarthy, and with Dak, they should have just came up the snow with it. And
Yeah.
man,
It's a total organizational
I appreciate
failure. Not having him ready is what you're saying. All right, brother. Appreciate the call, man.
Yeah. All right.
We're reaching a strange point. A strange point with this Q now, man. It's getting wild. Listen, I've heard he sucks, ready to move on. Cool. Yesterday I heard he doesn't take the game seriously. Now today I'm hearing it's his fault. The third round pick is inactive and not ready. He has to get him ready to play. We are reaching a point of no return. Or have we already reached that? And let me show you another thing I heard yesterday. I heard this is the reason Dak Prescott's the reason why he got hurt. Yeah, somebody in this chat said Dak Prescott got hurt because he held the ball too long. I want y'all to take a look at old boy over here. Just gonna let the play go. Somebody's not out of their stance yet, but everybody else is. Okay, let's let the play keep going. Looks like Dak Prescott can't step up into this throw to get it out here to Noah Brown. So what does he have to do when you can't step up? You got to drift. He drifts once, gets it out, and the hand comes down, and the ball is completed 2-1 Noah Brown. In what world? In what world is that your quarterback's fault? This is just getting absurd. Oh, look at that. Shout out to Professor O, by the way, who pointed out early, right after he got drafted, talking about Tyler Smith. Professor O came to me in the DMs and said, "Hey man, I like his nastiness and this and all that, but he's slow to get out his stance." Isn't that crazy how that one thing that not only him but other people have seen is the main cause for why your quarterback got hurt? But according to people, this is on Dak Prescott. Where is there room to step up into this throw? You tell me. You tell me. He steps up into this throw, he gets clobbered just like he did earlier in the game. It's getting to a point that it's ridiculous. It's no longer, yeah, he played bad or yeah, he can do better. We are going, he doesn't take the game seriously. It's his fault he got hurt. And it's his fault your third round pick is not ready. Yo, y'all gotta relax, fam. Y'all relax. This is getting out of hand. The Lunatic, what's good, man?
Sky, Cowboys Nation, buenos dias. It's interesting. If Danny Savage vouches for you, you become a made man. If Dak vouches for you, you're sleeping with the fishes. That's interesting, Cowboys Nation. Now, it's the good thing, though, is I heard it earlier in the week from Jerry, and then Kellen was saying we bench our penalty-prone players about Peters being able to play both the left and the right side.
Yeah.
I just wasn't having any of that. I said, don't even go there. He's better on the left. Don't even think about moving Steele. He had a bad game. It happens. This is the NFL. He will fix it. I have more trust in him than moving Peters over to the right side.
Yeah, I'd much rather keep Peters on the left side. Easy.
Yep, and this might be the one where you nudge him and say, hey, you ramped up enough, right, buddy? Let's get that Farniak out of here. Whatever it is, whatever chance we got against Cincinnati, we got a better chance with you in there than Farniak.
100%.
And the other thing is, aside from my prop bets, I mean, I'll be upfront. My score is going to be Cincinnati 24, Dallas 9. It's going to be another loss. Aside from my prop bets, I just want to know, is Kellen Moore going to listen to the opposing players when they say we figured out your scheme and the way you're going to get out of it is running the damn ball? Because with Garrett Gilbert, passed it almost, I think it was 37, 38 times. Sidearm Gucci Danucci, passed it for 41 times. And even Cooper Rush last year, 40 pass attempts. It seems like run is not in his DNA. His Boise State playbook is you pass out of it. You pass out of trouble. So will he have that discipline, or will somebody tell him, damn it, just run the ball, even at least to keep him honest?
I didn't even piece that together. You know, we forget Danucci was here for that one game, and he threw it how many times you say? 41?
41 times with Danucci. That's when we scored 9 points. That's where I got the 9 from. I'm thinking our offense is going to be about the same.
Your fourth string quarterback on the road in his first start threw the ball 41 times. Damn.
And remember, with Cooper Rush in Minnesota, Dak tried out at the warm-ups. That's where he was determined, nope, he's not going to go out. So Cooper Rush, Minnesota even said, we were expecting Dak. It surprised us with Cooper Rush. So you were thinking this, and you have Cooper Rush, and you still throw 40 times. But it is what it is. He had a good game. We got to win. Prop bets, here I come. Maher, he's probably going to make 3 and miss 1 and disappoint us more, and we're going to go ahead and have him slipping with the fishes also next year. Let's hope no more serious injuries, and let's move on to some winnable games in the Giants and the Washington Commanders. And let's see if we can keep this thing afloat until Dak comes back, whatever time that is, whatever time Dr. Jerry comes back. And, yeah, I'm not above a shameless plug, so I need that Cochran number again for a class action lawsuit against the Joneses by Cowboys Nation for that cruel and unusual punishment thing. Oh, my God.
1-800-THE-FIRM.
But as you say, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Appreciate you, man.
So, Cowboys Nation, hope you continue to have a good one. We're still in it. Where it leads, who knows? As McCarthy says, stay on the journey. He may not say it's going to be at the end of the cliff, but I'll stay on the journey. Have a great one, Cowboy Nation. Puro pinche Cowboys.
Salute, good brother. We at the point where Brett Maher is the least of our worries. That's crazy. All right, let's get into these keys right quick before we get out of hand, because there's a lot of callers on the phone line. Key number 1. Been saying it for the last 3 days. Protect Cooper Rush. And that's not just by the offensive line. That's the obvious point, right? Like, you got to protect Cooper Rush in a multitude of ways. A multitude. I think the number 1 being lean on what your offensive line does best. And I think right now that is run blocking. They want to fire out, right? They want to wear down these opponents. Your right tackle is an explosive run blocker. Your left tackle is an explosive run blocker. Farniak can get nasty. Didn't have a great game, but he can get nasty. So lean on these boys. It ain't gonna be easy. That's a good defense over there, but it is what it is. But this seems to be a reoccurring theme, right? Like, when I say lean into the strengths of said unit, whether it be offensive line, running back, quarterback, wide receiver, whatever it is, this coordinator just doesn't seem to want to do that. But you have to. You're given no choice at this point. So if you're going to lean into what they do best, which is running the ball right now, you got to play ball control. You got to keep it away. Another way to help protect Cooper Rush. If you have to get to 3rd and 6, then you just get to 3rd and 6. If it gets to that point. Not saying it needs to be that point. Now, I'm not naive, right? Like, I understand that you're going to have to make plays in the passing game. And I don't mean just dump off plays either. Like, you're going to have to take advantage of situations like this on the screen, right? You get one-on-one, you got a shot, you got to take advantage of that at some point. So I'm not naive to that fact, which means you got to get Cooper Rush in a rhythm. Easy throws. Get CeeDee Lamb in a rhythm. I talked about it at the top of the show. If he's not involved or if he's struggling or something like that, his mental didn't look too great in week 1. But like he and Cooper and Dez and T.O. and Keyshawn and a lot of other people, and I named all these guys that came through Dallas, but this is a theme with wide receivers in general. They all say they need to be involved early. Not only because they are diva wide receivers, like, oh, I want the ball, but also because football reasons. Like, I need to know how to adjust to said player. I need to know how to adjust to said coverage. But if I'm not getting involved early or getting into a rhythm early, it's not going to happen. Now, I'm not saying that didn't happen on Sunday because he had 11 targets. But much like your quarterback trying to get easy throws, got to do that for your receiver too, especially your number 1 guy. You want him to be confident in that entire game. So that's my first key, man. Protect Rush, and not just from literally protecting Rush, but you can protect him by doing a bunch of things. Leaning on the ground with your offensive line and running game, getting him easy throws early, quick things early. I mean, like deliberate, intentional quick things early. And that's going to require your wide receivers to be up to snuff in early in the game as well. So protect Cooper Rush, number 1. This is true. Sean says you'll need your protection. You need protection for this QB, your starter, whomever. This is true. There's no doubt about it. Can't yell at me. Let's get to Russell D. I got your name saved in here, but I don't think I remember hearing from you for quite some time. So what you got for us, Russ? Good morning.
Hey, what's up? How are you doing today, Skywalker?
I'm doing good, man. It's Friday. You know, got football this weekend. Had a good game last night. Doing good.
I've been so busy I haven't had a chance to call in this week, but I wanted to call in because I wanted to talk about beyond the frustration I have with we all seen this coming, the outcome. And the thing I reflect back to was that last year the team was a solid, good team where we just had to add a few pieces. Even if we were going to lose a few pieces, we had to add the key right pieces back to the team to have a legitimate shot of building on what we built last year. And I'm just so frustrated that he's like almost ruined it. Like we were so close to having a team that could contend to go to the Super Bowl and just had to build on that. And now we're in after watching that game Sunday, I'm just so frustrated and to the point where I just can't. It's frustrating. Like the things that he's done in the office, the front office, throughout the year, of the fact of not even having a backup quarterback. What is the plan? It's like it seems like every position that we've lost, there's no plan in place. Like we even had
or the plan wasn't a great one. Right, because they'll say, yeah, we had a plan. This was our plan. Our plan was to have Josh Ball as our swing tackle. And then when your tackle goes down, we'll kick our first rounder out there. That was our plan. They'll tell you that. That doesn't mean it was a good one.
Yeah, it's just frustrating. And like you said, you brought up a very valid key point is that they put a stat up on actually I think it was on the Mickey Spagnola show, and they said that 46 of the 53 players on that roster are all drafted from the Cowboys.
Yep.
So if you're gonna rely that much on the draft, you got to hit, and you're not going to bring anybody in at all to like support like fixing positions and stuff. You got to hit and nail those spots. And if you're not gonna, you're in a world of hurt. I'm just so frustrated that they were that close, Sky. They were that close to being a legitimate team that could win the whole thing. I still don't understand the Cooper let go either.
So the frustrating part about the moves, and I said this in the offseason, is okay, fine. You want to get rid of certain players. That doesn't bother me. But when you have a season like you had last year, the plan should be to build on top of that. I don't even think the biggest front office homer or Cowboy homer or whomever could sit here and stare at me in my face and say they did that because they didn't. So now you're relying on your year 2 guys to make this crazy jump, or you're relying on your coaches to make a jump and do things we haven't seen them do, et cetera, et cetera. Cool, that could be your plan. But meanwhile, the rest of the league is like, all right, well, how do I get better here? How do I add to that? And some of these competitors did that. Not all of them, but a good amount of them. Russ, you there? Russ?
Yeah, I lost you. I got you back now. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead and finish.
No. I lost you. You were talking about the second man guys and stuff. I just lost your
Yeah, so basically what I said at the end there was that, we are relying on year 2 guy, or we're relying on coaching staff to go above and beyond what they've shown they could do in the last 3 or 4 years, or we're relying on, as Steven would say, hey, man, listen, you getting paid $40 million quarterback, so we're just going to roll out undrafted free agent 5th round pick, and you got to make this work. That's what we in the rest of the league is like, nah, let's see where we can be better. Let's get better and add better players for these teams. Yeah. Is kind of what I was saying.
The Eagles front office, I mean, I hate the Eagles so much, probably more than any other team in the league. But that front office right now is just they're pretty unbelievable, and we got to deal with them all the time now. So they better wake up, and I keep continue to believe this, and I'll believe it till the end of the year. And I hate to believe it, is that Jerry Jones is totally sabotaging this team to bring in Sean Payton. That's the only explanation I could have, because, I mean, to not even bring in a backup quarterback, I mean, Cooper Rush is no good. And there's so many other quarterbacks out there and deals he can make to get someone in here. Why not make a deal, get Andy Dalton back in here? He knows the offense. Yeah. Send over a 6th round pick or something. It's just, it blows my mind, and it's so frustrating that the next 4 games, if Dak misses 4 games, we'll be lucky to win 1 game, and our season's it's going to be all year fighting to get back in an offense that is struggling to begin with. So I don't get it. And the only thing I can
land it.
Yeah, it only explains if he's really doing what I'm thinking. I hate to believe that or think that, but it's like we're throwing the whole season away.
All right.
I just don't. I mean, I'm gonna get Sean Payton too. I love the guy. I would love to have him.
I'll get to the Sean Payton thing. I don't want to let you keep going and going and going. We gotta get to more callers in the rest of the show, but I'll attack that Sean Payton thing. Appreciate you, Russ.
Again, man, you're the best. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of people believe the Cowboys are setting it up for Sean Payton. I want to believe that, but Sean Payton not coming in here to be a yes man. Do we think that Jerry is going to relinquish all power? I don't know, man. I don't know. So I don't know what their plan is. But let me get to something that Brennan said here. And Brennan, I actually align with you, Brennan Walker. He says that, we got to get over this run the ball thing. It's not the 90s. Brennan, I'm with you. I don't know if you how when you got here on this channel, right? But I'm the run the ball efficiently guy. I'm the guy that I don't care to run the ball 35, 40 times a game. That's not what this league is. Teams will welcome that. So I agree with you, Brandon. The problem is, as this team is currently constructed from an offensive concept, from a talent concept, You can't just go out here and sling the ball 40 times a game with this scheme, with these wide receivers, especially with this quarterback. But even with your starting quarterback, that never was should have been the game plan to throw it 40 plus times. So while you are correct, Brendan, this isn't the 90s, and I always usually say, hey, this ain't 1992, et cetera, et cetera. You don't have any creative run scheme. You don't have, creative run scheme. You don't have a creative passing scheme. So you got to kind of lean on what is your best option at this moment to keep the game close and try to finish at the end. And I think it is your run game department, especially with your backup quarterback. So I'm curious if you're still here in this chat. You're saying don't run the ball a lot with Cooper Rush. Is your answer to that to then throw the ball a lot with Cooper Rush against this team? And I'll see if I can find your answer in there. Let's get to the second key. Coverage pressure. That might sound like, well, do you mean coverage sacks? In a way, part of it, sure. You're going to have to force Burrow to hold on to that rock a little bit, and that's not going to take a lot to do. We talked about this yesterday. He was 17th in the NFL after week 1 in his time to throw the rock, right? 2.6 something seconds, I think. So he's holding the ball a lot longer than Tom Brady was at damn near 2 seconds, sub 2 seconds. It was crazy to me. But I say coverage pressure because not only are the guys up front going to have to get home, but you cannot allow too much space for Boyd and Chase to operate. It's a scary game to play with Chase because he can burn you, but you gotta crowd him at some point. I was actually surprised at the lack of contested throws in week 1 that Joe Burrow had, given he threw the ball 53 times, given it wasn't really an overly successful passing day. But that man, Jamar Chase, had 10 receptions, and a lot of those things were on in routes. A lot of those things were, in front of the 10-yard stick. His average depth of target was only 9 yards. So, and the reason why he got so many yards is because he got a little yak. He had 48 yards in yak, and I think one of them was a big play. So it's a scary game if you crowd Chase. I get that, but it's almost as equally as scary if you don't. Dude is a different animal when it comes to breaking tackles. He's ridiculously strong. He's ridiculously explosive. It doesn't take him long to go from 0 to 100. And the other guy, Boyd, if you can pressure Boyd, pressure Boyd. It's not the one we want to hear. If you can pressure Boyd, you might get a chance to get an interception or two. He's going to try to target Boyd in the middle of that field, specifically the intermediate to deep route. His average target depth, I think, was somewhere around like 14 yards. So and Boyd's not as dangerous as Chase. So you can kind of take a little bit more chances with him. Still, I think he's one of my favorite slot guys in the league, but nonetheless, I'd crowd him a little bit more and make Joe Burrow play that hero ball. We just watched 2 of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League last night. Freak of natures play the game. Burrow has some of the one mentality about them that gives any team a chance every week if your defense is a good defense. They got that in their system. All right? And not the effort where we're going to change the play, but the effort where, hey, I don't care about how many people are around here. I'm going to throw the ball. And Pat Mahomes had 3 picks yesterday, and they all were overturned. Herbert was behind and late on a lot of throws, and had a pick 6. Joe Burrow had 4 interceptions, a lot of bad reads, a lot of hero ball. But the difference is they make some insane plays. And you're like, all right, I can live with that. It's especially if you're playing against a team that doesn't have an offense. So regardless if you sack Joe Burrow, you pick him off, as this team is currently constructed, I don't think it's going to rattle him too much. So you're going to have to be on top of these boys from a defensive standpoint all game. You cannot let up. It's why I think it's more pressure on Dan Quinn. So that's number 2. You need to have coverage pressure, and I'm not just talking about up front, because just stay tuned. We'll get to that part. I'm talking about from a coverage standpoint. I'll now see all these dang on comments. I probably missed my guy, Brennan. Is it Brennan? Your answer. My apologies. Oh, here it is. He says, "Nah, I agree. They aren't a team built to throw a ball, especially with rush. However, my comment is towards complaints about Kellen Moore's tenure here. Kellen's pass concepts are bad. Complaints about Kellen's tenure. I think that's a different discussion, Brennan, that I've had already in the offseason. I don't really want to reiterate that point. Kellen's passing scheme is bad. That's a fact. At least what we saw over the last 12 games or whatever it is when teams figured him out. But yeah, so I'm not going to attack too much of the other part. I got to that in the offseason. These boys, this is interesting. He says Cowboys win 24-17. They rush 25 plus, pass 25 to 35. I am curious. What was your score prediction last week? I want to see something real quick. I already know how you feel about said quarterback, but you got Dallas scoring 24 points against a pretty good defense. I wonder what you had him last week. And they rushed the ball 25 times, plus times, and they passed it 25 to 35. If you're starting to creep up into that 35 range, you're probably down a bit. But if they can stay under 30, I feel like that means the game is closely contested, and you are having success on the ground, and they're staying close. They're staying in front of the chains, and they're being committed to the ground game. All things that you wanted to see last week with the other quarterback. But I said something on Vach's show. I thought the secondary 31-20. So 31-26 Cowboys. So you thought the Cowboys win last week. Okay, interesting. Because I think there's a sector of Cowboy Nation that will be cheering and rooting their little hearts out harder this week because of the situation at quarterback than last week, because of set agendas. And all I say is, why don't we have that same energy? Strange to me, even though I know why. Let's get to 443. I'm not sure. 443, what it do?
What's up, Sky? Steve from Maryland.
Steve from Maryland. What's good, Steve from the DMV?
Not much, brother. How are you doing this Friday?
I'm good, man. I'm ready for the weekend.
Me too, man. Ready to go to the ocean. Anyhow, I wanted to say I kind of disagree with that last caller, man. I don't think it's a smart idea to bring in another quarterback instead of putting Cooper Rush in, for the simple reason, I kind of hate to say this, but I kind of agree with Jerry and Steven that Cooper Rush knows the offense better than anybody right now. He's been in the organization for a while, and I also like Greer. So we have two viable options right now that know the players. You know, he's been playing with basically the same wide receivers all through this whole camp and everything. So I'm sure he might even actually have more gel with the receivers than Dak Prescott has, to be honest with you.
No.
And the bottom line is the play calling has to be better. We got to run the damn ball.
Yeah. Now, you make an excellent point, Steve, in regards to bringing another quarterback in. I'm also not of that mindset. We've been here before. When Tony went down in 2015, Brandon Whedon was here, and they still went out and got a quarterback in Matt Castle, which they'll probably get another light quarterback. It took him a couple weeks. Matt Castle got out there. He didn't know the playbook all like that. It was a mess. You got two guys in here already. I don't think either of those dudes are going to move the needle. Neither of those dudes are guys I think that are going to win you 4 or 5 games. But if you can kind of just stay afloat with one of the two, and I say one of the two, Steve, because I don't think Cooper Rush at least should be particularly long, right? Like if he goes out there and he looks absolutely terrible on Sunday, then let's see what Will Greer has. I'm not ready.
Exactly, and I like Will Greer.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just said I like Will Greer, so I agree with you.
Yeah. I'm just not ready to. Obviously, the season's going to be tough to get through in regards to playoff, Super Bowl, whatever. But I'm not ready to just stop seeing the development of other players. And if one quarterback is not, the backup quarterback is not going to help with the development of these other dudes, well, put the other dude in. Let's see if he can.
Exactly, I 100% agree with that. I mean, say you were to bring in Andy Dalton. Now you're paying out whatever the money it is that you have to pay out to get him here. He didn't perform very good when he was here, and you already have Cooper Rush. People say, he's not good out of the pocket, whatever. I'm sorry, but the last preseason game that I saw him play, he actually ran for quite a bit of yards when he had to scramble out of the pocket, and he wasn't scared. He's not scared to throw the ball down the field. He's not scared to force a ball to a receiver in a tight zone. He takes chances, even though they might not always work out. At least he has the balls to do so. I mean, and then you have Greer.
I don't know if you want him throwing the ball down the field too much, man. He has a noodle arm. You gotta get somebody, and I put the tape on earlier. CeeDee Lamb wide open, streaking down his left sideline, and he just throws it to Michelle Tafoya. So
right,
yeah.
I mean, the only thing I can say is that I think personally we'll be okay. Like you said, long as we just stay afloat, and that's his job, is to manage us staying in the mix, then I'm fine with that until Dak comes back. And Dak's got to do better. But the bottom line I see it is, this is a time where McCarthy and Kellen Moore have to show what they're really made of. And if they can't show what they're really made of in this stretch, they got to go.
Wasn't it the time against San Francisco? Wasn't it the time in week 1?
Right. It was. You're right. It was. But you know what? The 1 + 1 = 3. Well, guess what? This is the third time. So if you can't get it right this time, and your head quarterback's out, like people are saying, oh, this could benefit McCarthy because Dak's out. No, I think it's the opposite. I agree with Brian Broaddus. I think this could hurt McCarthy because if you've had all these shots so far, you've had two shots. So if you lose multiple games through this stretch without your quarterback who wasn't ready to begin with, and you did nothing about to adjust in these couple of games, and we have a losing record, then something's got to change. So it's either you go or Kellen goes. But I'm not happy with Kellen, so they're both on the hot seat if it was up to me.
100%. Appreciate it, Steve.
So I hope you have a blessed Friday, man. Keep doing what you do. Love you guys, and go Cowboys.
Thanks, brother. I thought that after the playoff game, after the second half of the season, we were clamoring for something to switch up. Thought they should have made a change. All right, y'all know how I feel. I would have 100% sold the farm to go get Mike McDaniels. Would have did it. Trey, I think you kind of, again, this is fair. You only know me the last, 2 years. You don't know me through my Tony Romo era. But I've said often on this channel, I've literally almost gotten into fights about Tony. My fandom was different back then because now I'm also reporting and analyzing and a much more objective. I was much more of a homer back then, probably, than I should have been. But I thought I had good reason to be. We had some teams, and I thought we were going to do some good things. I was much more defending Tony than Dak Prescott. You just only know me during the Dak Prescott era. And I also think you got me messed up. I am not one of those dudes that believe he is above reproach. The difference between me now and me then is my head was in the clouds. I couldn't see the main issue with this franchise, or I chose to ignore it. Right? I chose to ignore it. I don't choose to ignore it anymore because that was what we're talking 15 years ago, 10 years ago, right? In the midst of all that, got 10 to 15 more years of other evidence and data. And it's overwhelming, you know? So it's not about defending one or the other. Because I have no problem coming on here saying XYZ play like crap. I have no problem coming on here saying, hey, like I said in the offseason, it's a big important year for Dak Prescott. It's a big year. Yeah, but Scotty's setting him up. Look at what they put out there. Sure. But he still has to go out there and do it. So I say this respectfully, but I just think he got me messed up because this is all you see. And you see me dealing with this nonsense from people because they have their heads in the cloud because they choose to ignore the other things. So just wanted to kind of break that down for you, bruh. I don't give a damn if Johnny Unitas comes up through the ground and quarterbacks the Cowboys to the Super Bowl. I don't care if Ryan Leaf says I'm coming out of retirement and quarterbacks the Cowboys to the Super Bowl. I don't give a damn who it is. I just want the organization to do what's best to surround that guy. Coaching, front office wise, player wise, all that. Whether it be Tony, whether it be Dak. You just happen to only know me right now. And I digress. We're going to do 602.3 and finish on the phone lines.
What up, Scott Walker?
What's good with you, 602?
Man, chill. It's your boy DP Johnson, man, coming from Arizona. I just had to tap in with you real quick, Scott. Last time I called you, I was kind of low energy. Didn't really have much to say. But
you got me on speaker, good brother?
Yeah, man, I'm kind of in the middle of something right now, so my bad if you can't hear me too good.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just want to say this is on Stephen Jones more than anybody wearing a uniform or with a coaching designation. And I think that it's clear and obvious. We've all talked about how this parallels to 2018 when they tried to do the receiver by committee thing before. But it's definitely malpractice at this point because this organization has never won without balanced offense. We've always had our championship teams have always featured a strong run game and a quarterback who can move the chains and put the ball in the end zone. And right now, Kellen Moore just refuses to recognize that. And he's trying to do everything he can to make us a pass-happy offense while the league scoffs us and calls us soft. You know, the only real way to stop a defense from calling you soft is to let them big boys up front flex their muscles, but Kellen wants them to sit still all day. That's not going to work, bro.
Yeah, and I think, because if I'm not mistaken, if I heard what you said when the Cowboys have won as a franchise, it's been because XYZ, right?
Yeah, what I'm saying is, like, when we got our Super Bowls, we either had Tony Dorsett.
Yeah, let me stop. Hold on. Let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there. That's the problem. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
What's the problem? When I say we, I don't mean necessarily we, but I mean you are saying it. But the front office has that mentality. It's archaic. Yeah. It's archaic.
Yeah.
They because they won the three Super Bowls 30-some years ago. And I'm not even going to talk about 1970. The game is extremely different just 7 years ago, let alone 50 years ago. But listen, the problem is the front office had success in the 90s doing it a certain way, and they believe this is the absolute way to do it. And now that there's the free agency now involved and salary cap involved, they are trying to figure out a way to do it their way that they had success with 30 years ago. And also, they don't know how to manage in the salary cap era. I think that's actually a detriment to this franchise. I think the best thing they should do is go out and get somebody that has had success, whether it be winning a Super Bowl or multiple playoff appearances or building teams from different aspects, draft, free agency, trades. Get somebody that's done it recently because they understand and know how to get it done in this era of football. We are so stuck in, hey, man, we got to do it this way because this is how it happened in 1990. This ain't 1990. It's 2022. Teams aren't winning like 1990 anymore. And the very small shortage of teams that do get to the AFC Championship game or NFC Championship game or even the Super Bowl, leaning on their run game, the one thing that they have is an extremely dominant defense. I already told you this before. Not even just extremely dominant, almost historic. But you have to be almost historic because the Niners had a fantastic defense the last 2 years, the last 2 times they went to the NFC Championship game. They couldn't get it done. They couldn't get it done leaning on that. So I digress on that situation, man.
And I hear you on that, Scott. There's some good points there. I did want to get back to what one of your previous callers had pointed out with us having 46 to 53 guys being homegrown guys or whatnot.
Yep.
You know, that's a wonderful thing to be able to say. However, our organization has this issue with having what they like to call our guys. And when we have our guys, you have guys who are allowed to stay and occupy space, and sometimes they get playing time, and they don't allow guys who should be on the field to develop. Like we got LVE, we got Gifford right now. Both of them are occupying spaces that everybody says they look weird in because, let's just frankly say it, athletically they don't fit the room. You know, this is the same thing we did in years past with Crawford and Sean Lee. You know, sometimes just because a guy has been productive for you,
the conference has been locked,
as you like him, doesn't mean he's the best option.
Yeah.
And we definitely got to get past that. If we want to be homegrown, that's fine. But if we're going to be homegrown, we got to do it all the way like New England, who we claim we're trying to play. And just because you're our guy, he's better than you, so he's getting the job.
Man, and that
leads,
leads.
If we can't do that, then being homegrown ain't worth nothing.
And that leads me to the point I said earlier, man. If you're going to be homegrown / you're going to be draft and develop, damn it, you better hit harder. And that's not fair. That's not fair to McClay. That's not fair to the scouts. But that's just what it is. It's almost like this organization just willingly puts extra pressure on some of its most important pieces in the organization. Will McClay and the scouts, I mean, you can't just be like, yeah, we got Diggs, we hit on Micah, and you know, most people thought we hit on Lamb. I still think we did. He's got some growing to go through, but you hit on Lamb, et cetera, cool. But guess what? You better hit on everybody else too. Most teams can be like, hey, if I hit on 2 of my draft picks, I'm good. Dallas need to hit on about 4 or 5 of them things. But go ahead, land the plane.
What we do with our draft picks is we'll bring them in and be like, oh, okay, this guy can play. And so we'll start giving him some playing time. And then we say, okay, it looks like he might be in a position to ask us for some money in a couple years. So instead of putting things to support this guy, instead of doing things to help bring out his strengths, we just start playing games and we want to test him. Dak spent his whole rookie contract proving that he deserved it. You know what I mean?
And that's why
he's off his rookie contract, and we say we paid him, so we're going to take stuff away because if you getting that money, then you don't need it.
You already know it.
What?
You know it, man. You know it. You
don't need a number 1 receiver. You don't need 2 out of your 5 offensive starting linemen.
Here's what I find.
You got a $40 million contract. What sense do that make?
Here's what I find funny about that. Him coming out saying that $40 million is the reason why we can't go sign XYZ. Your quarterback was playing on a rookie contract for 4 years, and then a franchise contract. And y'all didn't do it. Exactly. Hey, man, good call. Appreciate it, dog.
All right, bro. Stay up, Sky.
You too, man. That's why you can't take these dudes serious, man. Let's get to key number 3, the most obvious. This is the most obvious one right here. You must dominate the line of scrimmage defensively. That could be every week, right? But maybe even more important this week because Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, if he plays, even if he don't, I don't care. Forget the tight end they got. Used to play, was it Hayden Hurst? Hayden Hurst, good tight end. Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase. Come on now. You've got to be able to not just be good, not be okay, but dominate. We talk about coverage pressure. None of that's going to matter if you can't get home because you can't cover forever, right? That's the old adage. You can't cover for X, Y, Z amount of seconds. So D-Law, as we talked about with our key defenders the other day, D-Law, Osa, Neville, obviously Micah, right? But I'm looking at these guys to take advantage of what they have up front. The Bengals gave up 7 sacks last week. 7 of them things. I think Dallas should be able to generate some sacks, right? I think they could take advantage of their tackles. Interesting, speaking of their tackles, La'el Collins came out yesterday and kind of had some words, without saying the dude's name, about Joe Philbin. Y'all should hear that. Y'all should hear that. So those are my three. Protect, rush, cover the pressure, and dominate the line of scrimmage defensively. Nah, Trey, this is passion, man. This is passion. Like I say, if you can't handle the heat, don't come in the kitchen, man. I'm passionate about this. Any other keys to this game that I want to say missing? Because there's tons of keys to the game. But I want to know what y'all think that Dallas needs to do to win this game. And while y'all doing that, I'm going to hop back into the phone lines. We got Los on the horn. What's good, Los?
Good morning, Sky, man. Almost football Sunday. Hey, can you hear me good?
Yeah, I got you good, brother.
All right, let me say this, and I'll try to be quick as possible because I know you're trying to get out of here. Do not get cute with Tony. You said it, Sky. It's not that we hate this creativity with Kellen. It's how we implant it. And I really do believe that drive where we did that jet sweep or whatever we did behind the line of scrimmage with an already suspect offensive line, Kellen has to remember there's no Tyler Smith anymore. There's no more Travis Frederick. God, man, I wish we still had him, right? It's a young, experienced line, and we expect Zach Martin, who's also known across the league, or, this line, to be flagged for the most. So just because we have a brick doesn't mean, whatever, if our foundation is made of Legos to protect your house. So basically, Kellen has to remember what we have up front. And I'll leave it to this. Zeke, Tony, CeeDee, these three players have to have a good offensive standpoint to give a Cowboys a chance, especially CeeDee. His body language, you said it, Sky. Yes, it's a frustrating night. 2 receptions, 11 targets, 29 yards. If I was a wide receiver, I'll fucking be livid. Sorry for me cussing.
No, you're good.
I mean, I know what it feels like, right? Let me say this. CeeDee coming out of college was known for getting those 50-50 balls, putting himself in position to get those balls. Now I just feel, I don't know if he's out of it, but I need him to step up to be the wide receiver we know he can be. And in closing, this defense has to hold up, especially on those big plays. Do not bite, stay disciplined, and make them earn those yards. Because you said it, Sky, Joe Burrow got licked 8 times last week. You don't think D-Law, Micah, and them can get there? And he has shown to make those mistakes. He will force a mistake or two if you keep getting to him. Because, I feel like that's what's going to get to his mental clock, especially now. Okay, I got to get rid of this ball quickly. Let me force it here. Let me force it there. And, that goes to any quarterback. Your mental clock changes.
Interesting, Interesting with Joe Burrow. I don't know that I want him to get it out quickly. I want Joe to hold it just a little bit, just a little bit, because if we get it out quickly, that's just going to mitigate the pass rush. That's what hurt us last week. But if he can hold that thing for 2.6789 seconds, that's enough time for Micah and those boys to get home, as long as you're not getting beat on the back end.
Exactly, and that's why I expect our safety and linebackers have to hold up on those pass plays, because if you're left on the island and if I'm Joe Burrow, and I'm gonna leave you with this guy. If I see LVE in coverage and he's on that island, barbecue chicken, I'm throwing that rock to him or whoever that receiver is. So I'll leave you with this thought, guy. You already know, if you're a great offensive coordinator, you find your weakness and expose it until you can stop it.
100%.
So my thing is, if LVE is our weakest link, which I really think this game especially, I just want you to leave with this guy. I don't know at what speed Jabril Cox is ready. or I don't know how much he will see the field, especially this game. But I think he's going to be an important piece defensively to be, just a reason why the Cowboys are in this game. And I still have Cowboys losing in a blowout just because I don't think Kellen is the OC we think it is. But, hey, that's all I have to say. 31-10, Bengals win. Have a great morning, Cowboys Nation. Like and subscribe to this great man who brings great content every week. And sponsored by the Cochran Firm and Underdog Fantasy. Peace out.
Appreciate you, Los. Good call, Los. Good call. Speaking of Danny. Yeah, man. I had a point written down. Jabril Cox. I'm gonna tell you right now. If LVE's out there getting worked in week 2, and Jabril Cox is not out there, we talked about the third round picks, the second round picks. I'm not saying Jabril Cox was a second or third round pick, but I thought he was going to come in and have some type of impact at some point. But he also was not available. Weird. And I don't mean to get on Dan. I trust Dan, right? Like, I let Dan do his thing more than anything because he's giving me that trust to do so. But much rather him be here. Before we get into the last 3 callers, I'm going to go ahead and give call it the call of the day or what have you, brought to you by the Fan Focus Call of the Day, Boston Scientific. Did you know that diabetes and heart disease and prostate cancer procedures can contribute to ED? Many men aren't aware of this or all of the treatment options that a board-certified urologist can offer. Understand your options and learn where you can find an ED specialist in your area to help. Visit edcure.org to get the facts and find a urologist who can offer the treatment options when others don't work. Again, presented by Boston Scientific. Let's get to James from Cali. What's good, James?
Hey, what's good, man?
What's up with you?
Yeah, I just got a couple 3 points I just want to quickly touch on, and then you just kind of let me know what you think real quick. Number one, I think when we play against Cincinnati, I think Kellen Moore needs to stop getting cute and commit to the run longer than he did then. Because to me, he kind of reminds me of the movie Independence Day when that guy's character is trying to stop drinking, and he goes, "I wonder what this button does." It's kind of like to me, he's kind of like pushing buttons. I mean, and he gets away from stuff that's working. Because Zeke was ripping off 5 yards at a clip. So I think he needs to commit to that and just stop going, let's try that. And then the second thing is, after getting beat in the Super Bowl and them and Cincinnati getting humiliated against Pittsburgh, Cincy's going to come out trying to play hot. So they're going to try to whoop us up real quick. But the thing is, if we commit to the run, don't get cute. In other words, don't get too cute, I think we can win this game. And the last point is, the biggest problem, I'll tell you right now, the biggest problem is Jerry Jones. Can't get out of his own way.
Yeah.
So, and after all said and after having said all that, I'm gonna tell you straight up, Sky, man. Hey, I love watching your show. You and Voch are great dudes. I love watching you guys' programs. I've been a Cowboy fan for 40 years, man, and it's been hard. But there's been times where I've come on both of your shows and I've actually learned something that I thought I knew that I did not know. So thank you for being here. Thank you for, educating us, and just thank you for just being you, man. I love watching your show. I cannot get up every morning and not turn it on.
That's heavy, dog. I appreciate that support, and I pretty much agree with almost everything you
said.
For you.
That's pretty much what I have, but if you're going to tell me real quick if I'm right or wrong in my points, I'd really appreciate it. That's kind of why I wanted to see you.
Yeah, can you just briefly, one besides the Jerry Jones part, but to the keys to the game? You said don't get cute.
The key to the game for me is to pretty much just run the ball, keep going in what's effective, and stop trying to go, I wonder what this is going to do. Stay to your strength that that's working out.
Yep. All right, I'll get to those. Appreciate you, dog.
Okay, and thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, even if this is like a 2020 season, man, I'm going to be here anyway. But, yeah, I'm with you. For whatever reason, Kellen Moore sees a play work. And like I said earlier in the week, he's like, all right, bet, cool. That's out the way. Let me go do something else. Man, if you don't do that until they make you stop doing it, and even if it's running the ball, even if it's a certain pass play call, make them adjust to it. We did the opposite. I hate to go back, James. We did the opposite in San Fran. We ran a play, and obviously, if you went back and you watched the All-22 film review by Kurt Warner showed the same play 4 times. I don't think it worked once. It might have worked once, but 4 different times they ran the same play, same formation, same routes, everything. And San Fran was just like, thank you. We've seen this on film already. Now we've seen it twice. Now we've seen it 3 times. Thank you. It's not working. So for whatever reason, he kept going back to something that didn't work as opposed to the things that did. I just don't understand it, you know? I don't understand that. We got one more caller, and interesting. This has to be from out of the country. Not sure where, but am I correct? Are you from out of the country, sir or ma'am?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's good? What part of the country you from? Or what part of the world you at? You were from, or where you at?
Big Cowboy fan calling in from the Bahamas, bro.
Ooh, I love it. Can I give you a clue bomb real quick? I think you're the first Bahama caller that we've had. I've had callers from all over the world, and that's what I love about Cowboys Nation. We're not a nation. We're worldwide. Wide. But
yeah, no, we strong in the Bahamas, man. We strong in it. We got a lot of fans in the Bahamas. Love the Cowboys.
That's dope, man. What you got for the show?
Well, basically calling because I'm sick of the Joneses, by the way. I know everybody is. I've been watching all the talk shows, all the media. The Cowboys have talent. The Cowboys have no direction. The front office is a mess. Zeke is not washed, by the way. You can't give back 9-10 carries a game and hope he turns into Barry Sanders in one of the runs. That don't work like that. Dak Prescott injuring his finger was not his fault. That loss that they tried to put on Dak was not his fault. We have no depth on offense.
We can agree he played in it, though, right? Like, he played a part of it.
Yeah, I think he could have been more accurate with some of his throws. But Dak was pressing. That last interception, he was just pressing, trying to get something happen. CeeDee was getting no sack on that one, because, they put a safety over CeeDee because we have nobody else. The Joneses, to me, have run this team on the belief of the 90s. Jerry is still trying to prove from Jimmy Lee, and this is our biggest problem right here. He's still trying to prove that from Jimmy Lee that he can put a Super Bowl team together. It will never work. Jerry Jones got lucky once. Like sometimes they say the sunshine on the dog, you know what?
Yeah.
Once in every blue moon. Well, he got lightning in a bottle, and he figured it was all him, not Jimmy. He got rid of Jimmy. They won another Super Bowl with Jimmy team. I watched all of them, by the way. I grew up a Cowboys fan from I was young. Yeah. The last one came in 96. I was 19 years old. I'm 46 now. So that should tell you this, 30 years? So my thing is this.
Hey, at least you got to celebrate as an adult, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All of my 20s, 30s, and now mid-40s, the Cowboys hasn't done anything. What they got, like one or two playoff wins in 27 years, maybe 3? I don't even know, because I only watch the team because I like to see the uniform. I mean, I really like the Cowboys, and every year is hopeful. But I've learned over the last 5 years that don't listen to nothing that comes out of Jerry Jones' mouth. I don't think Jerry Jones is more like trying to win a Super Bowl more than he's trying to actually market to make money. 1, 2, Stephen Jones is not a football mind.
No.
They need a real general manager, a real football guy, and they need a coach. The Cowboys, also the players. And this is the next thing I saw about this team. The players just walk with swagger like they already accomplished something. Now, Micah tends to be a little bit more reserved, but I'm watching him too, and I hope he don't fall into that. But Micah is confident, and I like that because he's a young dude and he's very good. So I don't mind that. But I watched over the years, a lot of Cowboys were talking like they were on those 90s team. You haven't done anything yet. Be quiet. Stay from the podium. Work on your craft. Get better at it. Because Jerry Jones is only going to give you the bare minimum to work with, so you got to work extra hard. Like he said, you have the star on your helmet, so that counts for something. No, it doesn't.
Facts.
You have to go out there and play to win the game.
To your point.
We are not a worse team in football, in my opinion.
To your point, I talk about this with Jesse Holly. Shameless plug. It's really not shameless because it's part of A to Z Network. We have a new podcast called Cowboys 4th and Long. There's a difference between confidence and arrogance. And that's not just what I talked about Kellen Moore at that point, but really with this organization, period. There's an arrogance from the top down, mostly the top that triculates down, and I think because they think their way is working or what have you, whether it be coaching, whether it be front office, they have this arrogance about it. Where confidence is one thing. I think Micah is confident. I don't think Micah is arrogant. You know what I'm saying?
No. But I can tell you a little secret about that. Do you know Jerry Jones and those would not be so arrogant if the team didn't work that much, if the fans had stopped coming to the games years ago, if the fans stopped buying the memorabilia, the paraphernalia, the gear, if the money had dried up, Jerry would have already fired himself as a GM and gotten the GM. But as long as he could buy himself a $250 million yacht, he's gonna always try to say, "I put this together." And one more thing I would like to say: Jerry Jones did not want Dak Prescott. Let's just clear that up. I watched the whole thing play out. Everybody else was getting paid their salaries. Everybody else was getting what the quarterback market was. Jerry Jones franchised Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott was the first quarterback to play under the franchise tag in 20 years or from its inception or something, because they don't do that. At first, I didn't want to pull the race card or nothing, because I was like, you know what, don't do that. But because you could go another route.
Mm-hmm.
Dak was never Jerry's guy. Jerry still was reluctant, even up to the last week when it was time for Dak to start and Romo to sit. Jerry would not tell the media whether Dak would be the starting quarterback. I watched that play out, and I was like, this guy can clearly see that Dak Prescott will be a budding star. And that Steeler game that he came out in, Romo knew right then he was never going to get his job back, because Dak balled out that game. We won that game in Pittsburgh, and that was like
wasn't that the meritocracy speech?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so my thing is this: unless Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones get out of selecting personnel and having decisions made that have something to do with players, because their egos. We trade a number one receiver for a 5th round pick. Are you kidding me? You trying to tell me Amari Cooper? Just say, 32 teams, so 64 receivers, 2 each. I'm not going in the slot.
Right.
2 outside, 64 receivers. So you're trying to tell me Amari Cooper was not even in the top 20? You couldn't even get a number one pick for him, because that's what that means. You're telling me that a 5th round pick, which is number 100 and something? You're trying to tell me a 5th round pick, which is about a number 150, 160 or something like that Amari Cooper is the 160th rated wide receiver in the league?
Matt Waletzko. That's what they got with that pick.
Garbage. Makes no sense. Amari Cooper should have still been on the Cowboys right now, whether he was vaccinated or not. Jerry Jones, for owner, billionaire, is too petty. That is his biggest problem. Everything with him is ego. It has to be me. By the way, he's a friggin' narcissist. I mean, I might as well just come out and say it. So he's not going to listen to anybody. And until he goes, permanently goes, and Stephen Jones probably go against the grain and say, you know what, I'm not going to do it my father's way. I'm going to do it the football way, and take a step back, hire a GM, a VP of football operations, the regular stuff with guys you don't hear about. Ozzie Newsome knows. Everybody putting the team together. Jerry wants to say, I draft these guys, these my guys. But your guys are terrible. LVE should have been cut last year. He shouldn't be playing on it. He should have been cut with Jalen Smith. Okay? We should have gotten Vaughn Miller, sign him up. I don't know what we keep in cap space for. They could probably end up cutting Zeke next year, or probably him taking a pay cut. Amari is gone, but the wide receiver market, $20 million for a top 30 wide receiver, that's good money. That's a starting number one. That was Doc Blanket, even though he didn't show up in certain games or whatever, but he's better than what they're now. So the Cowboys right now, to me, I wouldn't say the season is over, but another arrogant thing that they did in the preseason is not play Dak Prescott on that line to get a feel of the game. They really got to stop this preserving, because as you can see, the dude went out in game 1
and got hurt.
So
that's hey.
Exactly.
Let me give y'all flowers for those who wanted him to play, because I was one of those where I was like, I'm cool. They have the joint practices. I'm cool with that. But
no,
yeah,
it's not football.
Yeah. They probably should have been out. Now, will it have mattered? Maybe it wouldn't have. Maybe it wouldn't have mattered at all. But he went out and got hurt anyway. James Washington got hurt at practice, right? So it didn't matter whether you put him out there in preseason or not. He got hurt.
I always believe in fate. And I believe if fate happens where you're going to get injured, you're going to get injured. So I think that should have practiced. He wouldn't have looked so Dak looked like utter rubbish when he first started out the game. He looked cold. The offense looked flat. The line didn't know what assignment to pick up. Because I watched one of those socks that he got. One of those socks was a misassignment, and the other one, the guy just blew by the guy like he didn't even get up out of his stance properly. I was like, wow. If you had practiced, I don't think you'd have been this lame right now. You'd have been more intuitive about your body, more, like everybody is just ducking everything. The Cowboys talk too much. I would like to see less media coverage of the Cowboys players and owner than what they really, really, really portray, man. That's just how I feel about it.
Man, this call was fantastic, brother. I think you were spot on about almost everything you had to say, and even made me think a little bit more with certain things that you said that I usually try not to or try to ignore, but it's hard to believe they really are all in with that with him with Dak. So man, good stuff, brother. Great call.
Yeah, man. One of these days I'm gonna be in Texas because I'm planning on coming to the game for Thanksgiving. I was there 2 years ago before COVID. I couldn't come during COVID, but I'm gonna be there, and I'll probably look for you, man.
Yeah, but I say if you are ever in town for the Cowboys game, and even if we're not doing the game day live, I'll probably watch somewhere. But if you are here when we're doing game day live, definitely come through, holler at me and Jesse.
No problem, man. I'll find you. I subscribe to you on YouTube. I'll find you, bro.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate you.
Okay, man. No problem.
Man, great call. Being that he's from the Bahamas and doesn't call in much, I wish I could save the number, is why I let him go. So for those that may have not, you shouldn't have had any problem with it because he was saying some great things. Really good call there. And I don't mean to do a hard turn here because that was just a lot of things he said there. And one of them was the Dak and the front office. It's getting hard to argue that. It's getting hard to argue that. Yeah, somebody in the chat said I'm backtracking. So I'm like, well, what am I backtracking about? Like, listen, y'all know me. I have no problem debating or explaining or talking things through, but you got to have more context or more substance than that. You're backtracking at what? So I can maybe tell you that I am or aren't, or I'm acknowledging I was wrong, or what am I backtracking about? Come on with it, man. Or you can call into the show. Y'all know how you call into the show. I always say that. I ain't got no problem. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Yeah, I don't see. He just said backtracking and left. Damn. Come on, man. Come on with it. Don't see it. He said now he's gone. Yeah, I don't know where he's at, but come back in, let me know. L said, nah, that was perfect. He deserved the extended call time, long distance. Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Like the fact that he's from out of the country, and not even just that, because if he was from down the street, I mean, that was just a fire call. It is what it is. It was so fire. Lemitra said, I'm booking a flight to the Bahamas right now. Booking a flight to the Bahamas right now. All right. I mean, I don't see, bruh. Unless, wait, let me unlock. Because somebody did try to call up in here, and I don't know if that was him, but the conference is unlocked now if that is you. Before we wrap up, because we are in overtime, it's Friday, it is what it is. I want to talk about my picks from yesterday, if y'all don't mind me, man. I'll have my pick'em entries for the Cowboys on Sunday. Sunday during the day. But I want to talk about my pick, Underdog Fantasy pick'em interims from last night that almost hit. It's big goddamn old money. I had Austin Eckler, higher than 5 receptions. Hit that. Had Justin Herbert, higher than 305 yards. Hit that. I had Patrick Mahomes, higher than 2.5 touchdowns. And I missed it. And it was on that possession they kicked the field goal that I thought I was about to smack this thing, and I didn't do it. But it was made easy by Underdog Fantasy. And I have a lot of fun doing this, man. I knew I was going to have more fun doing this than a lot of fantasy things that I've played with over the years. They make this thing so easy. All you got to do is look for your favorite or least favorite player. Pick whether you think they'll end up with a higher or lower total than the number in this week's game. and you can win up to 20 times your money. I did that one time. I did a fiver and like a $20 almost turned into 500. 20 times your money in a single night. They keep it super simple. You just pick between 2 to 5 players in the pick'em entry, get all your picks right, and you win some money. It's simple. Head over to underdogfantasy.com or download the app and sign up with the promo code ATOZ. And Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. It's that easy. What y'all think about my picks? I think that was about right. Like, I figured it'd be a shootout and Pat would get 3 touchdowns. He had 2. I think I picked this one right. JT says, Sky, what you think about Derwin James body slamming TK? Go look at my on my Twitter. It looked like a 3D from the Hardy Boys, from the Dudley Boys. All right, I'm not sure if this is whoever that was that said I'm backtracking. Is this the backtracking dude? Yeah, but before I let you know, is this the backtracking dude or not? All right, then I ain't gonna do that to you since you can't. I was gonna say no, but you called in twice, so go ahead. We'll get you. And I'm not. This ain't you. You try to call in twice. I appreciate it, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. I thought you was the backtracking guy. I wanted to talk to him, but go ahead, man.
Well, man, I appreciate you letting me in, man. Thanks for unblocking it. You guys do real good. I like listening to y'all all day. I'm just at work, but I just got a couple things. Somebody has said it, but I was saying it to myself. You know, Kellen Moore is going to be forced to call this game like he should have called the first game, right? Run the ball more.
Exactly.
Someone said it, and I was just like, thank you. Thank you for somebody saying that, and I just don't know why he has to be forced to play, to call it with a backup quarterback when he should have just been calling it like that in the first place.
Exactly.
And I just hope this game turns out kind of like that Patriots Bills game where the Patriots were just running the ball no matter what. And
Yo, that was crazy.
I don't think that we should run it that much.
Yeah,
only throw it 3 times.
I was about to say, didn't Bro only throw the ball 3 times?
Yeah, like 3 times. I'm not saying it should go to that extent, but damn, we should just run it when they know that we're going to run it and just beat their ass.
Facts. Your offensive
that's all
line.
I gotta say, man. I appreciate you letting me on.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the call. You make a good point. Your offensive line will love you more if you just let them fire out and be physical. Just let them do that. We'll get to a couple questions here. It's Friday. We in overtime. I know how I feel about OT. Yeah, Trey said, if you don't want the smoke, then leave me alone. I mean, it's kind of true. I've never been afraid of a debate. That's probably why I'm doing this. Trey, how many yards do you think Zeke will get over 100? Total, maybe, but I don't, Trey. I don't really see him getting 100 based off of the way I saw the Bengals play last week. Excuse me. But I think there may be a possibility. Like when I look at the Tampa Bay's defense, I do think they have more dudes. And you were able to be efficient a little bit with them, right? Whereas this Bengals defense just seems to play as one as opposed as a bunch of dudes. And it sounds strange, but I feel like you might be able to hit them a little bit more. But I'm going to say, I don't really see him getting over 100. But the Cowboys should rush for over 100 combined, meaning TP, Zeke. Hell, I don't care if you got to give the ball to Rico Dowdle, but that's kind of how I see it. Charles said if they run it like they should, he will get 100. I mean, put it this way, I hope he get 100. But I feel like this is more of a team effort, right? I think Dowdle should be involved in this. If we're going to run the ball 40 times, which I know I keep using that number, everybody should get a carry. King Element, think Turpin gets touches on offense. I want to say yes. I said yes last week, King Element. Like, can y'all see? Like, I'm just not as enthused in week 2 because of what happened in week 1. Not even just from players, right? Not even from bad play. just you didn't get it to those guys in advantageous situations. So I want to say yes, King, but what am I supposed to go off of? He need to be involved. Let's say that. So somebody did sneak up in here. Y'all getting real. I should have closed it, but is this backtrack dude? All right, because it's Friday and we in overtime.
Unlocked.
I'm gonna let another not backtrack dude in. What's goody? Who's this?
Hey man, this is Anthony, man, from South Texas.
What's good, Anthony? You already in Texas. What's up with you?
Oh man, I'm just I'm just sitting here, thinking about what Vach actually said earlier about how I wish we would not try to pretty up Tony Pollard, and just let him, do it like the old Memphis style, just put him in a regular formation and let him run the ball, Let
me see.
And because he can run between the tackles. He can get outside. Of course, we all know he's fast, but he can actually still run between the tackles. And another point, they're saying, we're hearing now that the linebackers were basically seeing the same exact formations and play calling that they seen last year.
Yeah.
Like for us not to switch it up, and anybody knows who play football, when you got like top flight athletes like that, the way you get them off their games, you make them think. You put people in motion, run some jet sweeps, but we running the same thing over and over. And then when we try to get pretty, it just looks terrible. But, I just stay away from the pretty. You know what I mean? That's all I'm
muddy
saying.
This thing up is what you want, right?
Yeah, and let's punch these dudes in the mouth. You know what I mean? Like, stop trying to get pretty. Let's get back to the game plan that we had, the whole time. I understand, Dak has kind of like come to the spotlight, but let's not get away from what, the bread and butter, the meat and potatoes, how they say. For Zeke to get 1,000 yards rushing on half a leg, like, that's saying something. They need to let that man eat. And one thing I want to run by you too, everybody's saying, the Jones need to get out of there or whatever, but I think it's more Steven, because every time I hear Jerry speak, it sounds like he trying to have Zeke, as the forefront and the centerpiece of what they're trying to do, and I feel like that's the direction they should go.
See,
but I feel like
I think there's two sides to that. Like this year, and with this particular situation, and that's probably true, but it's also be careful, because if you're trying to build your organization, a championship organization, around doing that, right? Like feeding one man in 2022, find me a team that's worked for, right? That's not really how it happens nowadays. You do need to have some type of passing offense, and obviously need to have a special type of defense. Now, if you're going to do that, then what you need to do is you need to build that defense up to, I don't want to use the term historic, but damn near, right? Like, you need to go out and get the Von Millers, go out and get the Bobbies. And I'm not just saying just those two, but anybody else who's going to help put your defense into the stratosphere. And then you can say, sure, let's go ahead and run this thing, right? And I believe that this defense can be one of the top defenses in the league this year. But do I think it could be one of those, all-time great defenses? That was to be determined, right?
Right. And see, and the thing is that with the run, a lot of people don't get, we're not only running, we shouldn't only run because that's the best thing we do as an offense, but also we giving the defense a rest. And then when we got people like Tom Brady on the field, they're off the field as long as we're running that clock.
Yeah.
There's so many pluses to running the ball. I don't. And then I feel like everybody in the world know the stat except for the front office.
The conference has been unlocked.
The ball 10 or more times, we undefeated. Whenever Zeke get the ball 10 or more rushes.
No, it's not 10.
I think we're like 10-0 or something like that.
Nah, it's I think when Cowboys, two different ones. It's when the Dallas Cowboys rush for some of these stats are, you got to kind of, it's like when they rush for over 20 times, there's a certain number. And then there's when they rush for like 135 yards, they're undefeated. I think that's, or I could be wrong, it'd be like 120. But nonetheless, there's a yard marker where they're like 30-0 or something crazy. And I'm going to be honest with you.
Regardless of what that is, why not shoot for that, right?
it's hard to argue that. Like, I can't even, as a guy who, I'm not for running the ball 40 times a game in a normal world, in a perfect world. This ain't a perfect world.
Yeah.
But man, it's hard to really ignore. Hey, when you rush for 130, they win.
Right. You can do that with the right people in the right place, and I feel like Zeke is that right people. You know, we need to let him eat, man. Let him eat. But hey, I appreciate your show, man, and I'll be tuning in, and just like homeboy said earlier, man, there'll be some facts that I didn't even know that you go ahead and throw our way, and you appreciate it, my man.
I thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Y'all throw things my way. Like I say all the time, this ain't. I'm not here. I'm not here to pretend that I know everything. I don't. Hell, y'all tell me a lot of things in the chat that I go back. All right, let me go look that up and let me go check this out. And this is kind of a two-way street here. Appreciate y'all. All right, one more. I was supposed to lock this thing up, but somebody said he's calling in. Is this? And now I think I got your name, Darren. Hey, Blackwell, I'm gonna go ahead and let you. We in overtime. I'm gonna let you go ahead. I thought this was the backtrack, dude. I'm trying to get him up in here, but go ahead, Blackwell. What's up with you, man?
Now help me out, man. Maybe Dak is not as good as I thought he was, man. Can you help me out with that? I'm a little confused, man.
Can you say it again?
Because when I see maybe Dak is not as good as I thought he is.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
And at first, I think we got a great chance with Cooper Rush. I know I'm off the subject a little bit, but the thing of it is when I see Dak and replaying him, I keep saying, what is Dak thinking? He throw a lot of suspect balls, and it's just making me doubt that maybe he's not the quarterback that I'm keep thinking that he is. Maybe I think we got a good chance with Cooper Rush, just managing the game, doing what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
Help me out.
Yeah, we're all over the place here. So first off, what do you think Dak is? What did you think he was? That's where we got to start first, right? What do you think Dak Prescott is?
I think he's a top 10 quarterback.
I still believe that, but okay. And but now you're saying you think that Cooper Rush is better. You got a better chance with Cooper Rush.
I think right now only because that's what we have. And I believe.
No, I mean if Dak Dak can't play, his hands broke. But if Dak is healthy, it sounds like if I'm not mistaken, you think Cooper Rush is a better chance than Dak Prescott. I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm just trying to make sure I get this right.
Yeah, at this point right now, I'm looking at Cooper Rush and saying, hey, maybe he has the ability to go ahead and manage the game like a quarterback should manage. Make the right throws. Do what you're supposed to do.
And you don't believe that Dak Prescott can because they weren't asking Dak Prescott to manage a game, but you don't think Dak Prescott can manage a game and make the right throws at all after 7 years of evidence that obviously he can. But it took you week one of yesterday on Sunday with what they have out there in the game plan to just say, you know what, he can't manage this game or make the throws.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I keep saying, because when I slow things down and look at the replays, I'm like, what is Dak thinking about?
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm help me out with that.
I've already done that all week. There's multitude of things that went into this game. Did he play well? Nope. Can I ask you a question?
Okay.
How'd you like the game plan? What'd you think about the wide receivers? What'd you think about the passing concepts?
I hated it.
Okay.
I hated it.
So
I didn't like Kellen Moore in terms of that. I thought he should have been throwing bubble screens. I think they should have did the flea flicker.
We don't need none of that. We seen them do the double reverses. But the only reason why I asked this question is because
I hated the game plan.
Sure. The only reason why I asked these questions on top of just for Sunday's purposes, and I mean this could go back for a while. If you hated the game plan, you don't really respect the weapon. Not you, but in general, right? Like the weapons out there, the receiving situation is subpar. It's not good. The flow of the game didn't favor your team, and your quarterback didn't play well. I'm sorry, not your quarterback didn't play well. We'll get to that part. doesn't that make things harder for said quarterback, right? Now, your quarterback has to hit on almost every single opportunity. You can't miss. Go back and watch yesterday's game. Two of my favorite quarterbacks, much better than Dak Prescott. I think Justin Herbert from a talent standpoint clearly is better, right? We can't argue that. Pat Mahomes is amazing. Did you watch the game last night?
I watched some of it last night.
Okay. Did you see some of the throws? Pat Mahomes had 3 interceptions in that game, but penalties saved him. Justin Herbert was behind a ton or overthrew a lot of bad passes, had a pick 6, cost the game. It happens with quarterbacks. Yeah. But you know what they did do? They hit. They're aliens to be in general, but they hit. You know what their coaching did? And I heard Herb Street say this a few times. And I wrote it down, I think, when I was out there. I almost tweeted it. He paraphrased. Yeah, and you know, they made it easy for Mahomes. Wow. I would love for that to happen, bro. I would love for that to happen. So if you're not going to make it easy on a quarterback who's not an alien, Dak's not an alien. I've never believed him to be one of those alien type of quarterbacks. He's not in that tier. I've admitted that a long time ago. But I still do believe he's a top 10 quarterback that I believe can win in this league. But with those guys who aren't in that God tier, you know what you need to do more for them? You got to help them. You just do. And if you're going to roll out what you roll out from this schematic standpoint and from the talent standpoint, you're probably going to get this more often than not, unfortunately. Okay. Because he's not a God tier quarterback. Now, if you guys want to dump him and try to find a God tier quarterback, listen, by all means, go ahead. And you'll find out how hard the hell it is to get a God tier quarterback like those Allens and Burrows and Rodgers and Mahomes. There's maybe 4 or 5 God tier talent wise quarterbacks. The rest don't live in that realm. And I digress.
You got to realize they paying them top 10.
What does that matter? What on God Green's earth does that matter?
Because it raises the expectation too, doesn't
it? The expectation when you become a Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback is to do what?
To win.
Right.
To win.
So now, and this is why sometimes I wish we didn't know what quarterbacks or any player got. Go ahead.
Let me answer the question. To manage the game and win. Don't be the negative in the room.
What was my? I didn't ask. What question are you answering, real quick?
Go ahead.
No, you said don't be a. What is the question you're answering? Because I thought you answered the question.
You were saying in terms of being an expectation, in terms of
what is the expectations for the Dallas Cowboys quarterback as a starter? It's to win a Super Bowl, right?
Well, right now, I just need him to win.
No, I'm talking about now you backtracking. Not you put a price tag on him. And my question to you is price tag or no price tag. If you're the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, what are you expected to do?
To win the Super Bowl.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I can give a damn about how much you're paying this guy. Because you know why? I look around the league, Pat Mahomes is getting paid $500 million, and they still put around talent. They still go out and make trades. They still go get guys. The same thing with the Rams. The same thing with Buffalo. The same thing with any other team. Tom Brady's getting paid, whatever. Any other team that is competing, they still go out and they sign guys or make trades no matter what they're getting paid. So price tag to me, that's foo-foo. You're falling into the Joneses. You're falling in. This is what they want you to do. This is what they want you to do. He's getting paid $40 million, so we don't need to surround him with other guys. That's hogwash.
Well, I was speaking about that, period, in terms of I was cutting them a little slack instead of right now to say Super Bowl. I was cutting them a slack to say, hey,
no, don't cut them slack.
I need you to look. Oh, well, I did. I cut them some slack to say, hey, I just need you to manage and win, not throw balls in coverage.
Brother, do you watch the league? Don't throw balls in coverage. What you're asking this quarterback to do is be perfect. That doesn't happen. I just gave you multiple examples last night. I promise you. Go back and watch the game last night. 2 alien level quarterbacks had probably a dozen terrible reads and terrible throws. But Dak.
So bottom line, you telling me that my expectation is too high?
Did any of those words come out of my mouth? I'm the one that told you should hold them higher expectations. You should forget just make the read. That's normal quarterback stuff. Win the damn Super Bowl. But what I'm telling you is it takes way and I know it might not be fair to put it all on him, and I don't. A lot of people do. But it takes more than that. My expectations for the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys is to win the Super Bowl.
Okay. So you helping me out? Because I'm like, is my eyes deceiving me in terms of my expectations?
I don't think your eyes aren't wrong on Sunday. Dak did not play well. He was hesitant. He was behind on throws. He was not trusting of himself or what was in front of him. The blueprint from last year followed to this year, and the coaching staff didn't make didn't adapt to it. Right? Your eyes ain't lying on Sunday.
Okay. And that's why I called, brother. I said maybe it's just me.
Trust and believe me, it's not just you. It's not just you. But he's got to get better. But everybody has to. There's no way we can roll that out there and expect everybody else to play the same and expect quality Super Bowl winning performance from the offense. Correct?
Correct.
Okay.
You're absolutely right.
Gotcha.
Hey, brother, I called, and I really didn't think I would get on your show, or I didn't think I would get in touch with anybody, but this is wonderful, man. You're one of the first shows that I've ever been on.
Well, wow, man, that's more of a thank you from me. Thank you for calling in, and I hope because a lot of people made the mistake in my passion for something different. I hope my passion didn't offend you in the way that I like to kind of discuss things.
No, brother, you helping me. Yeah, I mean, I called the show to get help because I'm like I said, I'm looking at fact, I'm looking at film, but I'm also saying I'm like, am I in fantasy world? Am I drinking too much Jerry juice?
Well, you was starting to sound like you was when you got to the money part of it.
Hey, have a great day. Enjoy your show.
You
Love
too,
brother.
bro.
Have a good day.
Appreciate you, man.
All right.
See, y'all so slick. Somebody just snuck up in here. And I'm such a people person, man. Is this Deron? This is Deron? Wait,
I'm a first.
Is this Deron, the backtrack guy?
No.
Oh, damn. He lied to me, y'all. He told me he was Deron, man. I thought this was the backtrack guy. All right, I'm locking the phone lines up.
The conference has been locked.
What's your name?
I'm a first-time caller.
What's your name, bro?
My name's Chris.
All right, what's up, Chris?
I got one question because I'm at work. But at what point do we start to, Mike McCarthy, he's on the hot seat. Like, at what point do we get to that this season? Or do you think that's even possible?
I think he started February on the hot seat. He's on the hot seat.
You said what again?
I think he was on the hot seat in February.
Oh, February.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I thought it was very important for him to come out here and have not only just a playoff season, but some playoff success. And if not, because of the Sean Payton thing lingering around, and just in general, it seems like Jerry's not going to have the same amount of patience as he had with Jason Garrett.
Exactly. Because I think Garrett stayed around here for 10 years with having 3 back-to-back 8 years. So yeah,
that ain't happening. No, sir.
Oh, but yeah, that's all I wanted, man. I got to get back to work, but I love your show. So.
Thank you, man.
Listening to you.
Appreciate it. Chris bamboozled me. Appreciate you, Chris. I was trying to give him a chance to come in here. I allow people to get their takes off, even if I don't agree with you. Damn, man, I was looking forward to it. All right, look, appreciate y'all. We are in super overtime. I think I got to everything that I needed to get to today. And some. What am I looking for? Looking for this button. Woo! What a show. What a show. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out. Make sure y'all subscribe. Don't backtrack. Don't backtrack from it. Hit that subscribe button. We need you. And listen, we done broke everything down this week on how to potentially beat these Bengals. It is not going to be easy at all. Now, what if they go out there and blow them out? But no, seriously, football, it's not difficult to see when you look it out, when you look at everything. But any given Sunday, that's kind of the approach that I'm taking. That's the approach that I'm taking. Sure, my confidence is definitely rattled from last week. Because I definitely went into that game, defense. I felt like can at the very least win this game as long as the offense did X, Y, Z, and they didn't even do half of that. So this week, got to lean on that ground game, play mistake-free football, protect Cooper, rush. I don't know the type of defense that the Bengals are going to play, but if they play anything similar to what the Vikings did, I think you're going to have a lot of room to execute some of these plays. I think he can do that if you get room. Now, if it's going to look like last week where the Bucs didn't give you that kind of room, I'm a little worried. I mean, I'm already worried. But the hope that the saving grace is I don't know what the Bengals are going to come out here and do. If they play heavy man, I feel a little bit better. If they do that umbrella shell coverage with this guy's arm, a little bit more nervous. So we'll see what happens, man. Awesome Show says hallelujah. And y'all was in there cooking me too earlier in the chat.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
I saw y'all, man. L said, backtrack don't want you to win. Backtrack counted you out. Backtrack didn't believe in you. God did. Deron Lewis won't be forgotten. Shaq, you've been around long enough now to know. Oh, we will turn him into a bit. Until he comes in here, he will be a bit. And I said bit, B-I-T, because I know how y'all get. Oh, super. Thank you, King Element. Let me get the super chats before I dip, because I definitely missed a super chat yesterday on the way out. And I apologize to the person I did, man. I'd be so caught up trying to talk to y'all, which I'm supposed to do, right? Bo Jelks, he had tweeted. My goodness, my head is out the game, man.
Super chat.
He had super chatted yesterday. Do you think if Cooper plays bad that he'll have a short leash? I kind of answered that earlier. I think sure, why not? A short leash in this game? Probably not. Short leash in general? Yeah, man. We're trying to win.
Super chat.
Derek Small says, Sky, get the tables. Appreciate you, man.
Super chat.
Brandon C, I need a Cochran firm to take the front office to court for management malpractice. Oh, that's perfect. Cochran firm's going to love that one.
Super chat.
King Element said, you know what's hilarious? I seen people praising Herbert yesterday after he choked late and then got a garbage time touchdown, but had that been Dak, though. King, you opening up something that I really didn't want to do. Because I really like Herbert. I really do. But boy, if that had been Dak. Pick six. Then next drive. Now, granted, absolute freak show, hurting his rib and threw the great pass and scored a touchdown. And threw the pick six before. You know what they would have been saying? Garbage time. And with that said, I'm going to be out and we going to roll and get on to this weekend. I love y'all, man. To death. What a great show. On the way out, L said, this is just some snaps for your Petro. And great show per usual. Appreciate you, bro. And snacks for a pet. We out of here, man. Can you get that back? Love y'all. Peace.
Bomb Squad!